In our pursuit to discover church or to rediscover church, the Church of Jesus Christ, ask yourself this question. What kind of church do we need? What kind of church do people need, really need? If you could describe the church in one word, and I don't mean Jesus, I don't mean God, some description within the context of the need of humankind, if they came to a church, would they get what they need the most? What is it that you think they would need the most? Love would be cool, wouldn't it? I'm going to go a little deeper, not deeper, but different than that. Love would be a default answer, I should say. It's a good answer. It's a correct answer. But I think even something that's more descriptive and deep is a word we're all familiar with. I think it's grace. I think it's grace, which is, of course, the outworkings of what love is, right? We know the love of Jesus because of his great grace. So it's grace. Something that even in the world, they have sung the song, haven't they? Amazing Grace. Number one hymn sung of all time. No matter what the setting is, they were going to sing some religious song or hymn. Of all things, think about it. Why do we as a church sometimes don't get that obviously it really tugs at their heart? Amazing Grace. Because we all need grace, don't we? We all need grace for life. And we know that Jesus is the grace giver, isn't he? He is the grace giver. We have received and we continue to receive much grace. This is the kind of church that we need. A church that knows grace, has fully received grace, and can also fully extend and give grace. Because much has been given. Freely we've received, we freely will give. Shouldn't we? So Jesus is that grace giver. Where would be the place of grace? It should be the church. The church should be the place of grace. Do you realize, I know you do, that probably millions of Americans, they look at the church and you realize we're looked at as kind of a dinosaur. Obsolete, irrelevant, unnecessary, not essential in any way to the health and the well-being of a society or a culture. Not relevant. One person put it like this. They said, "Church as I know it usually leaves deep parts of me dormant, unawakened, and untouched. I don't much like church." I think we need to also challenge ourselves to say, you know what? We're going to come against that. We are a believer in the church. That the church has value. It has what people want. There are many, many different perspectives that we've heard on church. One perspective is this. It's a reason to keep quiet in church. This mother, she was giving instructions to her 3 children. As she sent them into Sunday school, she instructs them and she says this, "And why is it necessary to be quiet in church? Her son quickly responded, "Because people are sleeping." Another perspective, why doesn't God answer? Why doesn't God answer? The preacher's 5-year-old daughter noticed that her preacher father always paused and bowed his head for a moment before starting his sermon. One day she asked him, "Why?" "Well, honey," he began, proud that his daughter was so observant of his message, "I'm asking the Lord to help me preach a good sermon." "Well then, how come he doesn't do it?" she asked. How about this perspective? It's more fun yelling. After a church service on Sunday morning, a young boy suddenly announced to his mother, "Mom, I've decided to become a minister when I grow up." "Well," said the little boy, "I have to go to church on Sunday anyway, and I figure it will be more fun to stand up and yell than to sit and listen." How about a letter to God? Here's a perspective. A Sunday school teacher challenged her children to take some time on Sunday afternoon to write a letter to God. They were to bring their letter back the following Sunday. One little boy wrote, "Dear God, we had a good time at church today. Wish you could have been there." How about this one? Give him the money. A little girl became restless as the preacher's sermon dragged on and on and on. Finally, she leaned over to her mother and whispered, "Mommy, if we give him the money now, will he let us go?" That is my favorite. I do like that one. Okay. You know, I do think across the board, it seems like to me that the churches are trying real hard. I don't have a lot of contact with other pastors these days, and in a lot of pastor circles in the city right now. But I just even driving by particular churches, and I'm sure churches are really trying hard to become attractive, to become inviting. We're not the only ones. I know that. I'm sure every church has its concerns and has its desire to just be more open and accepting and to somehow get the right brand, get the right sign, get the right marketing, get the right introduction, whatever it is. I know churches are really, really trying hard. You know, have you ever seen funny things, funny signs? You know they're trying to advertise. These are actual classified ads. People trying to get attention. Funny classified ads. Used toilet paper for sale. I have a wide selection of brands and designs. Call for details and prices. Another one. Full-size mattress. Royal Tonic. 20-year warranty, like new. Slight urine smell. $40. No, these are actual ads. They're trying to sell something. Turkey for sale. Partially eaten. Only 8 days old. Both drumsticks still intact. $23 or best offer. For sale. 1 pair hardly used dentures. Only 2 teeth missing. $100 or best offer. Call Ira after 6. Wanted. I'm sorry. Wanted somebody to go back in time with me. This is not a joke. P.O. Box 322, Oakview, California. You'll get paid after we get back. Must bring your own weapons. Safety not guaranteed. I have only done this once before. So, what about churches? Well, you're going to remember some of these signs. Remember, we talked about check out the signs. So all of these have to do with church signs. And these signs are meant to be inviting, right? Get attention and tell people, you can't enter heaven unless Jesus enters you. We try to be clever. I'll tell you what Jesus would do. You see the big bomb there. This is people's perspectives on church. And sometimes we think we're cute and we're funny or whatever. Honk if you love Jesus. Text while driving if you want to meet him. Yeah, one way. Good luck figuring out which one. Life stinks. We have a pew for you. I mean, these are titles of probably the messages that these guys are going to preach, right? And I've kind of made it a habit to read those things, check them out. Don't let worries kill you. Let the church help. Forgiveness is to swallow when you want to spit. So all these signs, no wonder I think sometimes the church is can be perceived as kind of a joke. I actually like this next one. Go ahead and put up the next one. This one actually is on Taylor right now at a billboard over by the Coleman Starbucks over there. And the C3 church in our valley here put this up, and I thought that was pretty good. But they actually rented the whole billboard there. Not religious, neither are we. So I thought that was actually pretty good. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. What kind of church do we need? Well, I think we do need a church that is not a lot, but it will be like its founder. Who's its founder? That answer is correct. It's Jesus. A church where people find friendships, relationships, and genuine community. I think this is the kind of church. If we're talking about grace, a place where there's grace, then we should be like Jesus. We always say we want to be like Jesus, right? We're trying to be like Jesus. The church should emulate the person of Jesus. Everything we do, everything we say, that should be our model, shouldn't it? And it's a place where these friendships and these relationships of genuine community, and it's made up of people, community is made up of people that are not perfect. But the key is that we try not to pretend we are. To be real, to be authentic, and I think that's what people want, because if we are in a position where we're real, then we also say we need grace, right? Imperfections invite grace. Perfections won't do that. Another thing that we need, a church where people find healing. Now, I know you know these things, but we've been talking about this Discover and Rediscover Church for a few weeks, a couple months. And so I'm kind of bringing it all together here. Not going to re-preach some of these things because some of them we've been talking about. But this is a place where people can receive healing, because we do preach that God is a God of healing. Don't we? Healing is for today. And he can heal our bodies. He can heal our emotions, spiritually, emotionally, our marriages, our relationships. God is a God of healing. It's a place where church where people are spiritually transformed and changed. We talked about spiritual growth. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Another translation of that says, anyone united with Jesus gets a fresh start and is created new. The old life is gone and a new life awakens. So in Christ, people get transformed. They get changed from one person to a brand new person. I'm not sure that you'll ever see any of that outside of Christianity. Transformation power. True transformation power. Think about it. Another kind of church we need is a church where people raise their family with an extended family. Right? The church is our family. It's an extended family where we work together. We work together in our marriages. We work together in raising our children. We work together in supporting each other, being there in hard times. Right? A church that inspires people to dream and enables them to fulfill their dream. We should be each other's cheerleader, not jealousy and envy and coveting and comparison and all of this and what about me, but to have a community and a culture and a fellowship in the church where we inspire people to dream. I should be able to come to you and say, that's a great dream, Don. Dream bigger. Dream bigger. Your dreams are too small. Why? Because you're a child of God, that's why. Simple as that. God has big dreams for you. God has big things for you. And so we should, as a body of Christ, be able to inspire each other and celebrate with each other and cry with each other, but laugh and be joyful with each other too. Right? Yep. Every person. I would hope that the church, the kind of church people would be looking for is a place where they will be challenged to take the lid off their life. Stretch out their borders. Go beyond. That they can go beyond. They can be inspired. Continue to dream. Another church thing that we need as a church is where all races and ages of people belong. True? Yes. Bridging all peoples. All peoples. A church where the people are passionate about God. I guess if I ever wanted to have a dream or a heart of what Live Heart Church is to be, may we be filled with the fire of passion for God and the purposes of God. Without apology, without reservation. And that becomes contagious. That people will pick that up. They will draw from that. That we're going to be passionate about God. Because why? Because God is passionate. Our God is zealous. He's passionate. He's passionate about us. So why shouldn't we be passionate about Him? That everything we do is filled or is saturated with this passion. Wow, pray passionately. We worship passionately. We preach, we teach, we exhort, we prophesy. We pray for people. We serve people. And we do it with passion. Passionate about God. It's also a church where people can fully embrace the vision and the mission. We've said we, as our mission, as our vision, we want to invite a new generation into an authentic relationship with Jesus and His church. We want to build people up into being fervent followers of Jesus that will reach out, that will impact communities, We want to be a church where people are taught the Bible and they're taught good teaching. This is very important. Building people is building good teaching in them. They'll be strong. They'll have a strong foundation because they're in it for the long haul, right? We want disciples that will be in it for the long haul. So we want to really inspire them with the teaching of the Word. A church where people love their city and are vitally involved. We want those who give love. They give love, they give acceptance, they give guidance, they give encouragement. They reach out to the hurting, the discouraged, the depressed, the frustrated, the confused. We are out there and we're vitally involved in community. And a church where people experience love, acceptance, and grace. This is about a culture. Everything that I'm telling you, I mean, I could go down these bullet lists. You look at those and go, yep. We know that. But this is kind of a skeleton for creating an actual culture, environment, climate, in a community of people where there's this stuff going on. All of it is going on. It's the Spirit of Jesus. It's the Spirit of His church that's vital, essential, important. And it's what people really are looking for. It's that intangible that I'm talking about. They go in, they come into an atmosphere, they come into an environment, they come into a community with people. They hang out at the mansion or they hang out and come and be with us as a people, and they don't even know exactly. They might describe it and say, yes, it's love. Wow, you guys really love each other. We really feel, or it's described. I've already had some descriptions. Love has been used as a description, a feeling of so much love. Sometimes it's peace. Even marginal people that aren't even serving God right now. They can come into the place, come into an atmosphere, and they just sense, you know what? There's peace going on here. It's a climate where there is acceptance, there's openness, a devotion to other people. They already sense, that this is a place that's safe. It's safe to fall. It's safe to be broken. It's safe to expose weaknesses. It's safe to not be okay. It's safe to not even believe all the time. It's safe to have your questions and your doubts. See, the church has not been known for that. But that's keeping it real. Because you know and I know, we all go through those human things of fear because we're sheep. Do you ever wonder? And I know fear is driven demonically. And I know there's a spirit of fear. But think about it, our nature. Jesus and the prophet calls us sheep. I hate it that he's called us sheep. I don't like sheep. Sheep stink. Sheep, they're just not exciting animals. I much rather have an Australian sheep dog. But to have a sheep, very high maintenance, very weak, very frail, very doubtful, easy to take down, easy prey, not just to a wolf, but even easy prey for just about anything stronger and wiser. But church should be the place, you've got a place of grace when a sheep can be a sheep. You hear what I'm saying? Instead of the sheep coming in and feeling like, I have to be something else. I have to be something else other than a sheep. They're expecting me to be a lion. They're expecting me to be this other creature. And I'm not. So some of this is just because of our nature. We're going to be fearful creatures at times. But that's why we need each other. And that's why we need the shepherding of each other. And we need the shepherding of a shepherd that's subject to the chief shepherd. And that's where we put a total dependence on God, Jesus, the head of the church, right? Amen. The church is this place to be a place of grace. A place of grace central to our salvation, central to our Christian living. Think about this and I know you've heard a lot of messages on grace, lots of grace, lots of grace, lots of hearing about grace. But grace really is central to everything we are. Everything we are, everything we do. It's true of us as individual believers, and it needs to be true of us as a church. That grace is central. Ephesians 2:8, you know you by grace you have been saved. Can I say this? Not only have you been saved, you are being saved. You will be saved by grace. The same grace that was there that got you started is the same grace that stays with you for here and now, is the same grace that presses you in and through. Grace, grace, grace. You don't revert back. You don't revert to something else. You don't change in the middle of the stream. It's by grace you were saved, and not of your works or anything else of a carnal, fleshly, ungodly nature. Grace of God. It's a gift of God. God has gifted you all the way through. Grace is relentless. It's something is pursuing us all. It's grace pursues you, goes after you. And no one is beyond this grace. No one is beyond the reach of God, of this loving God. Grace is to be this place. This place is to be that grace coming to people, right? The wonder of grace, it means you've heard the definitions. Unmerited favor or kindness shown to one who is utterly undeserving. I mentioned to you about the Amazing Grace hymn. Amazon.com lists 3,832 separate recordings of John Newton's old hymn in every different style imaginable. Everyone sings it, everyone knows it, and everyone loves it. Another statement on grace, it means unmerited favor or kindness shown to one who is utterly undeserving. It is not merely a free gift, but a free gift to those who deserve the exact opposite. And it is given to us while we are without hope and without God in the world. So grace is a gift. You do not receive grace. You do not receive the gift once. You keep on receiving it. You keep on appropriating it. You keep on unwrapping it. You know why? Because it takes you all, your whole life. This grace gift, think of it as a gift. When you think of a gift, you think of a gift that has a structure and a size that is limited, right? When you get a Christmas gift, you know the small one, you know the medium one, you know the big one. And, you know, somebody who really wants to get blessed, you know, it might be a big gift out in the driveway, as we've seen in commercials. They got a car. Somebody wrapped up a car and put it in the driveway. But even that has size to it. It has volume to it, right? This gift is as big as God. That's how big the grace is. It's as big as God. We haven't figured out how big God is, except we know that there's no place God is not. There is no place God is not. He is everywhere. So grace is there. So this is why when you receive grace, you keep receiving grace because you keep needing grace, and you will always need grace, and you always need to keep giving grace because that's what we all need. So you keep unwrapping that gift every single day, every single moment of your life. You're continuing to tap in to that grace. It's a gift from Jesus. Grace is a surprise gift that comes when we are not seeking it. Did you ever get it when you weren't looking for it? Do you get it when you're not looking for it? Yes, because it's constantly pursuing you. Even when you're not looking for it, it's coming to you. It's unmerited, it's unlimited, no matter what we've done, no matter the depth of our transgression, our depth, our darkness of our hearts. This grace literally saturates, permeates, overwhelms, overtakes everything. 1 Peter 5:10, but may the God of all grace, who called us to his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after you have suffered a while, perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. Grace is abounding with mercy for anyone and everyone. Anyone and everyone. Unconditional love of God is absolute and undeserved. And it is not limited by conditions or by your response or by anything a person does. Grace has a mind of its own. It will not be dictated to on who it comes to. You don't make that call. He does. You can argue with it. You can rationalize it. You can do whatever you want. But God will do, and grace will do what it wants to do. So unconditional love is not based on anything you do. So when we describe that the church is to be a place of grace, how powerful that is. Because people will come, and may they sense that because they know you, they don't even know why they're attracted or they love you or they feel what they feel. But it's because you're a person of grace, the grace of God. So what kind of church do we need to be? May we be a place of grace and be givers of grace. Is that hard? Sometimes. Usually I find it's hard to extend grace when I have discovered that in a particular area of my own life, I haven't received grace. I haven't really let down, humbled myself, whatever it is. Stop being disappointed with myself, and just really receive the free gift of God. Because once I receive it, I find it a lot easier to give it. I really do. Can you do that? Can we be more diligent to receive grace, and then we can give grace?